All right, we live. Let's get that. Say the 5th, 6. What's up, folks? Purification.com. What's up? What's up? Pile in, everybody. Gonna have a quick conversation, man. I was just gonna record this separately, and then I was gonna record it with the original video that I was working on, but I figured why not go live? I don't go live enough, right? And that way people can kind of see me do this work right in front of you. So, because I had something important that I wanted to take a look at. So, bring you guys in. We'll take a look at it and see what we come up with. Okay. So it's not gonna be a long video. Let me see. Super chat. Okay, add banner. Boom. Okay, we're gonna wait a little bit, man, before we get into it. I want to get at least a couple of people in before we start talking about this. But I think it's pretty significant. Y'all know about it, man. Y'all know I do my research, my due diligence. I dig, come up with stuff for you guys, and definitely something we need to take a look at. So let's see, we got folks in the chat. Folders in the chat, no comments. What's up, Christopher? Rental. I can't tell. What's up, awake and sleep from within? What's up, now? What's up, everybody? Oh man, yeah, I wanted to get on here because I'm working on a video that I was gonna put out. Probably gonna put it out tomorrow. I might put it out today, tonight. It might be late. Some of y'all might not notice I got a strike on my main channel. That stuff be crazy, man. I got 52,000 subscribers over there, man. And they be dwindling it down to where only not even a fraction of y'all get that information, man, when I go live on there. That's why I had created these other channels. You know, I had the other channel where I had got up to like a little over 20,000, maybe like 23,000 subs, and then they just snatched it. Like, oh no, we ain't gonna let them put up another channel. It's crazy, man, but like I'll be telling y'all, man, it's certain medicines and stuff they don't want you to have. It's certain information they don't want you to have. And it's certain stuff they do want you to have. It's certain stuff they do want you to have. And that's what a lot of this come back to, man. They want you to gravitate to certain things. As crazy as it sounds, they want you to gravitate to religion. That's why they left it for you. You understand what I mean? Like they leave you what they want you to have. They want to program you. When we come in, they wipe you down, they erase your memory, and then they give you information so that you don't know where to start. You don't know your origins. So we're gonna touch base on a little of that, man. I don't know how in depth I'm gonna go in this video talking to y'all because I do have a video that I'm putting together where I'm comprising some of this information, but this piece I'm adding this piece that I'm gonna do with you guys right now. I'm gonna add that in the video, but I wanted to be able to do it live so people can kind of see where I'm grabbing this information together and you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So like a moth to flame, best man. What's up now? What's up, Nandy? Seeing the Joe Rogan episode with Cat Williams. Yeah, Joe. Hey, Cat Williams been dropping truth bombs, man. It's a lot of truth coming out 2024, man. Hey, the consciousness of the planet is rising. And I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it. It could be because some of the dead weight. It could be. Some of the dead weight falling off. That's something that might, it's a possibility that might be the case, man. As crazy as it sounds. Folks don't want to hear this stuff, but yeah, man, I got the strike. I got the strike on my main channel, man, and I can't post on there for like 2 weeks, and I really can't post for a month, man, because I got 2 strikes, and I can't afford to take a third. So we're not even gonna play around with that much, right? But what I wanted to do is I wanted to get this information out. They got to it before I could get the information to y'all, man. They got to it before I could get it to y'all. So let me see here. Boom. So also, if you haven't had a chance, I'm letting you know now. What I was gonna do on the main channel is we're gonna keep the 40% off going till tomorrow through tomorrow for those that didn't get that discount. Reason being, man, the way I do things, guys, I put stuff on my other channels first because I want to test it out, see if it works. So I'll put it up, and I said something about the 40% off for folks, man. It's been crazy. Like, I mean, we got folks from all over the country. It's crazy, right? But 40% off, I did that, and I put it up on that channel. And I only put it up because initially it was just because it was an inconvenience with the process and everything. People was complaining, people didn't get their orders and stuff. So I said, okay, I'll go in, I'll do the discount, to compensate for those that didn't get the opportunity to get the stuff. Then I put it up on the backup channels because the backup channels is my testing grounds. I'll test stuff out there, see if YouTube don't take it or don't strike it. Then I know, okay, I'll go to my other channel where I still got my large majority of the subscribers, and I drop it there. That way I can avoid strikes and losing that channel. So I play like a little safeguarding with that channel. So when the information got over there that it was the 40% discount, a lot of folks didn't get it until it was that day. So it was ending right then, or it had just ended. And so some people complained. I said, okay, we'll open it back up for one more day. Unfortunately, that channel went down, so they still lost out, and I'm not opening it back up. But we will run it for those that figure it out, and then they'll come back over here to Rumble, and they'll be able to get that saving for at least one more day, which will be the 6th. So through tomorrow. But either way, man, I had accidentally put some stuff on that video, man. It was talking about the G Tower and Lucifer race and the Wi-Fi connection, to the things and everything. It was talking about that in depth, and the guy, it was a clip. I edited it out on my other channels, but I accidentally loaded one of the ones that had that stuff on it. So yeah, they end up hitting me, man. They end up they'll give me the strike. So the main channel gonna be down for like 2 weeks, man. I ain't gonna post nothing up there, but I'm gonna still post on Rumble. I'm still gonna post over here on these other YouTube channels. But the video that I wanted to put out, man, I didn't get a chance to because that happened. So I want to go over a little quick, just like give you a brief synopsis of what I'm talking about when I go into this article. I'm gonna read this article for you guys. I think it's important that y'all know what's going on and how this stuff kind of correlates with us as spiritual beings and whatnot. So for instance, like we have, if some of y'all might know, you get like a what they call a happy hormone that's released in the brain. It's released in the brain, and most people know it's dopamine. You might have heard of it. Dopamine it's like it has a role in like REM, like rapid eye movement, like when you're sleeping and stuff, like in a dream state. Also kind of correlates with death. Similar thing. What you have to understand though is that when you're going into a dream state, this stuff is released into the brain. and it's also stuff that's released in the brain when you going into when you dying. Like there's electric waves, gamma waves that are shot through the brain. It's a lot of activity that happens like right before you die. Okay, like I said, we, in a sense, guys, we are like electromagnetic. We have like electricity in us. So I told you before, like you rub your hands together, you rub certain things, and then boom, you rub your feet on carpet real fast, and then you touch somebody, you get that electric shock and stuff. Then they use like what those things, amphibullators or whatever, that can shock your heart back. You know what I mean? Like you can move electric current through you long as you ground or long as you ground it. Like if you holding two pieces of two different electric wires, you can run that right through your body and be fine. Like it's stuff you can do. You also got electric waves running through your brain and stuff like that. So when people die, they notice like some like electronic waves flowing through the brain. They're like pulsating stuff, and then you get like a boost. I think they say it goes to like 300 gamma, something crazy like that. Which me personally, in my research, I believe that that's the moment that the soul is being shot out. Okay, that's activity. It correlates with the pineal gland. Okay, just like they shock your heart. Notice they shock your heart, but it also deals with your brain activity. Your heart gets shocked with electricity. Your brain has electric waves and stuff going through it when you die. Is it a coincidence? Start putting it together. Now, what I will say, yeah, the defibrillators, right? So what I will say is this, man. For people to understand, like that, when you go to sleep, you go into a dream state. Okay, it's similar to a hallucinogenic state. All right, same thing. Like that's how you have dreams and stuff. Like it's like you hallucinating, but you sleep, right? You take certain drugs. I'm not advocating for you taking certain drugs and stuff like that, but drugs like LSD, drugs like mushrooms, it's another one, Xanax, stuff like these. These things are like, they consider like hallucinogenic drugs. Why are they considered hallucinogenic? Well, they're hallucinogenic because they directly affect your pineal gland, your third eye. You understand what I'm saying? So with that, you potentially opening it up. And I tell people, and you don't want to do this because you can it's the similar. You don't want to open up your pineal if you're not vibrating high enough. Do you understand? It's like dying at the wrong time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if you open in your third eye and you dying at the wrong time, you're going to open yourself up to demonic spirits. You're going to open yourself up. You don't have a high, strong enough energy field. You're not vibrating at the right frequency. Okay, so now you're at the lowest level, which, like, if you died at that level, you'd be essentially in hell. You're going to see dark entities. They're going to inhabit you and stuff. Same like when you taking alcohol. A lot of people, man, have bad experiences when they're on alcohol. A lot of them because they vibrate low. Alcohol weakens your energy field, and it also opens up your pineal gland. It's a chemical reaction that's going through in your brain. Okay, and this opens you up to demonic possession. All right, so that's why a lot of people black out when they drink like that. They get so drunk, they get their alcohol is in their brain. Notice alcohol is coming out of their pores, coming out of their mouth, it's coming out their nose. They breathe like alcohol has consumed them at that time. So these people are diluting their pineal. Their pineal is being affected by their third eye. So they'll get those type of negative responses, chemical responses throughout the brain, throughout the body. It's not like it affects your body, but you also got to know it's in your bloodstream. Guess what your brain is feeding off of? Blood. Alcoholic blood is circulating through your brain. Your brain is feeding off that. That alcohol is touching your third eye too. You understand what I'm saying? So try to make sense of it, man. But let me see here. Okay. But yeah, REM is like this is like rapid eye movement. It's a part of the sleep cycle. Like when you're sleeping and you're dreaming, like you'll have REM. Okay. Now there's plant-based drugs and stuff like ayahuasca. Some of you may have heard of it. Okay, it's a specific drug that also causes like what people would think of as a hallucinogenic state. But what it is opening up your pineal. It's opening you up to the spiritual realm. Okay, it's opening up to the spiritual realm. I went in depth about this stuff to some degree. People are like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and doing that. Look, man, God didn't give you nothing that you wasn't supposed to be using. All right, anybody telling you anything different, man, they are not of God, and they are not being led by the Spirit. Understand that. All right. Spirit is tested them. Okay, so I hope this is making sense to you guys. Let me see something here because I'm gonna read this article and I think it's important. Now, I talk about this in the video that I'm gonna be dropping. So a lot of this is gonna be like I'm double talking, backtracking because I'm gonna be saying this stuff and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be saying it in the video. So y'all getting like a straight glimpse into what the video is about. But essentially, what I'm saying is understand we're spiritual beings first. Understand that, right? So if you're a spiritual being first and you're a human being second, then something that you do as far as a physical is going to put you back in your natural state. Do you understand what I'm saying? You going back to the state that you really are. So not you hallucinating, your real life is more of the hallucination. Does that make sense? And then the dream world and the point that you go back into the spiritual form is what happens when you go into that dream state. This is where you get astral projection. You get astral projection. It's when you die. Like people understand. Like, and I said this in my video, and I don't want to say too much because then it's gonna twist stuff up. But when you die, you go into spirit form. Okay, you are now outside of the 3D realm. You no longer operate in the physical. You operate in the spiritual. So now you're in different dimensions. You're in different dimensions and whatnot. Okay, that's how we operate as spiritual beings. You operate off sound, vibration. You operating off frequency. All right, that's how you communicating energy. It's all different. Okay, that's why certain frequency has healing powers and stuff for spirit. Okay, it can heal. It can heal you. Can also open you up. That's why the pineal gland responds to it and everything else. So either way, what I said in the video that you'll see later that I'm putting together is that the forces that be, what they've done when we come here, they've trapped us into the vessel. So you can't operate much outside of that. You're not operating much outside of the vessel. You're gonna think that you're a physical being. Your spiritual senses is gonna be disconnected. You're not gonna be able to do anything telepathic. You're not gonna be able to do anything as far as your intuition is gonna be at a very low level. Your visions of your past life, all that stuff is gonna be like suppressed or wiped. Okay. Now, no different from y'all might remember me talking about GC math. Talked about that. GC math is something that our bodies naturally produce, but they introduce some stuff into our bloodstream and whatnot into our bodies at birth to make sure we didn't produce that, to make us susceptible to these different uncurable diseases and whatnot. All right, same thing they did with our third eye by closing it. We naturally create DMT, but the stuff that they put in us to like from the schedules, the walks and stuff like that, make sure that your body does not secrete that, your brain does not secrete that. So it keeps you from going into that state. But if you're a human being second, when you go into a hallucinogenic state or you go into the spiritual realm, you're in your natural habitat. Your spirit is in its natural habitat. Your physical is second. You came as a spirit into the body as a physical specimen at that point, but you were the spirit first. So if you do something or take something and it puts you into spiritual forms, like when people take certain stuff, they see things. They seeing into the spiritual realm. Do you understand what I'm saying? No different from Adam and Eve. Like I told y'all, the reptile in the garden, man, was a talking snake. It was a talking reptile. Okay, what are we seeing on TV right now that's telling you to take the walk? And I'm gonna put a piece of that in this video. I'm gonna have to get it because it's from one of my older videos. But they told Adam and Eve to take a walk. Essentially, what they did, right? Told us the same thing. What was it to do? To cut you off from the source. and I'm gonna say this, and I already said it in the video that I'm gonna play. So y'all just watching the video or y'all watching the live, understand that we were created and we had a connection to God initially. The things that came here, they made sure that you didn't have connection to the source, and then they gave you a booklet on what you need to do. Like, you need to read this, and this, and they incorporate some stuff that you probably should know, and it may very well correlate with God and Jesus and everything else. But they also made sure that they diluted it to the point where you couldn't really figure it out. You understand what I mean? So when I tell you, hey, stop just looking at the Bible, I say connect to the source. Like, you can go to church all you want, you can be Christian, you can do all that. That's fine, but that don't mean you connected to God. If they cut off your channel, look, God gave you a channel. He gave you a channel to speak to him directly. Okay, you don't sit there and you like people pray and all that. That's fine. You want to pray, thank God for this. God, you did this. Hey, you talking. He hear you from within the channel that he put inside of you to reach him. All right. And if you able to talk to God, why do you need a book for somebody to tell you what to do and how to be? Don't even make sense, right? So understand that when I tell you, I say, guys, just get to a point where you can utilize the tools that God gave you. That's it. As far as I go, you do what you want with that information. All right. If you want to keep reading the book that the man gave you because they were inspired by God, why aren't you inspired by God? Why aren't you inspired by God? Why did they have a channel to God, but you don't? You see what I'm saying? Like, miss me with that. So anyway, like I was saying, guys, as far as the dream state, and some people have reported, like, when they've been on their deathbed or whatnot, they could hear those around them. You know what I'm saying? You could hear people talking and stuff like that. This is people in the spiritual form. They're able to connect with what's going on outside of the body. They're no longer in the physical body. Just like when some people die, like kids, when they little, they still got the connection. They haven't been calcified. They haven't had all their schedules and stuff. They report seeing, like, they're talking to Aunt Sally. She's been dead, like a couple years, or they seen Uncle Ben. Like, they see these things because they still connected spiritually. Okay, that's why they working on that. They doing all that stuff to make sure they cut them off, right? But like I said, once you go to certain drugs and stuff, it puts you back into your spiritual form, out of body experience, just like in your dreams, out of body experience. When you die and that stuff is released in your brain, okay, this is stuff that affects your third eye, but it also shoots you back into the spiritual form. Does that make sense? So check it out. I told y'all know these folks been messing with us on every level, physically, mentally, and also spiritually. Now, okay. Let me get. I'm gonna read this article to y'all. I might put it up on the screen so that y'all can read it with me, because I think it's important. There we go. Because this is all I was really coming on here to do. It's all I want to come on here and do. Okay, hold on, guys. Percent. Here we go. Just a second, guys. Okay, here we go. All right. So check it out, man. I'm gonna read the article for y'all, but I think y'all need to see it so you can kind of understand where I'm going with this, and you can kind of figure out what is what. So it says, like, human brains show larger than life activity at moment of death, right? So think about that in dreams and stuff. Okay, here we go. Let me read it. The brains of dying people may spark to sudden life in their final moments. Two apparently brain dead people taken off of life support show sudden spikes in neural activity, according to a study published on Monday. All right, here we go. The findings published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences provided scientific support for accounts of near-death experiences, powerful and often mystical experiences that happen when a patient is about to die. But they also shed new light into the surprisingly murky question of just how we die, said Jimmo Borgigan of the University of Michigan. In a small study of 4 patients taken off life support, Borgian's team found something surprising. The brains of 2 out of the 4 burst to life in the moment before death. Interesting, right? Talking about DMT, talking about dopamine and stuff like that, potentially being released into the brain activity, electro waves, gamma waves. We'll get into that. In particular, the patients displayed a sudden surge of specific type of brain waves that usually indicate conscious thought. Here we go talking about consciousness again, right? Talking about conscious thought. Okay, hold on. Put this up for the people that just came in. Okay, here we go. Conscious thought. Okay, production of those brain waves called gamma waves spiked up to 300 times in their previous levels in one patient in the moments before death. That dying patient's gamma waves patterns reached levels higher than those found in normal conscious brains. The process of our bodies and brains go through when we die remain poorly understood. In the conventional account, death is simply the sudden end of the process of life, in particular brain and heart activity. Now, understand that, man. Look, I'm gonna go over this part one more time. Understand, the process our bodies and brains go through when we die remains poorly understood. In the conventional account, death is simply the sudden end of the process of life, in particular the brain and heart activity. It's poorly understood, but it's a reason why it's poorly understood. Y'all gotta know that, right? So, for example, scientists don't really understand what is happening on the inside when an apparently healthy person suffers sudden trauma like car accident, fall, or heart attack and quickly dies. If you don't know how exactly they die, how do you save them? Borgian asked. In practice, someone is legally dead when they are pronounced dead by a medical professional. That professional doesn't make the call based on a searching inventory of the patient's subjective mental state, but based on the persistent absence of either a heartbeat or brain waves. No electric activity in the brain, right? Because your spirit is gone, your soul is up out of there. After a long period of such inactivity, family members often elect to disconnect a patient from breathing machines, at which point their body slowly dies from lack of oxygen. But the recent findings suggest something more complex and harder to detect is going on. Borgian points out there remains the possibility that a covert consciousness, a conscious experience we aren't currently able to detect, continues below the surface and springs to urgent life as death approaches. That may be an adaptive response similar to the surge of cognitive activity that wakes a sleeping person, or perhaps a seal, with sleep apnea, in which the body stops breathing while asleep in time to recover, Borgian said. The brain has an extremely sensitive mechanism to sense oxygen levels in your body. She said, even tiny drops of oxygen levels. The brain knows about that and constantly regulates the supply of oxygen. That goes against the idea the brain as a passive passenger, which Borgian argues makes sense. To think that when you are undergoing cardiac arrest, where the heart is stopping or not pumping blood and the brain does nothing, it is beyond me. The brain should be going crazy, which is exactly what happens, she said. Her next hypothesis is that the brain drops everything else that it is discretionary to focus on the essential function that is survival. That is a survival or self-resuscitation. This explains, or this exploration of the inner territory of death is far away from Borgian's original area of specialization. Circadian rhythms, and the science of sleep. In 2008, she was studying the impact of stroke on the brain's production of hormones that promote sleep when she accidentally discovered something shocking. In the moments right before death, the brain of the rats hooked up to their machines displayed a sudden surge in serotonin, a brain chemical deeply enmeshed in the process of thought and sensing. Serotonin, as you probably know, is the essential neurotransmitter that is important for brain function, which, when it's malfunctioning, can lead to psychiatric disorders, Borges told the Hill. So, first thing I was thinking, wow, I wonder if the rats are having hallucinations. Talk about hallucinations at the time of death because they're having these stuff released in their brains, right? Okay, which is the dopamine and well, they have a serotonin. Like we have dopamine and we have it's called diamitriptyline or something like that. Some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Let me finish. Hold up. Okay. Her second thought was that the serotonin surge was probably a well-understood phenomenon. She was wrong, both about the rat and understanding of general mechanics of dying. I started looking into the literature and was surprised to find we know literally almost nothing. In conventional understanding of death, the brain is a semi-passive passenger carried along by the heart, at which dies when the heart dies. There's not much room in the model. However, for Borges had found a sudden surge activity in dying brains. She built on those findings in 2013 PNAS study that found that brains dying, rats produce a surge of gamma waves, the pattern indicative of consciousness as they experience heart attacks. Okay, these data demonstrate that the mammalian brain can, albeit paradoxically, generate neural correlates of heightened consciousness processing at near death, her team wrote in the 2013 paper. Said heightened consciousness. Okay. Interesting. Notice how we're talking about consciousness, right? That sentence contains an important caveat, and it's one that hangs over all the research. Dying rats may show correlates or traces of the activity in conscious mammals. It's linked to coherent brain activity, but it's so far impossible to know subjectively what dying rats or humans are experiencing. Nonetheless, the 2013 paper with its findings of surging brain activity in dying rats made the New York Times. Its findings, the Time wrote, could hold an explanation for the vivid, realistic visions experienced by some human victims of cardiac arrest. Visions reported by about 20% of heart attack patients. These findings, Borges wrote, at the time could explain why some individuals during this state can actually recall conversations happening in the operating room. Now, I knew a guy that he was actually dying, having a heart attack, and he survived. And he was in a comatose state at some point, and they were saying the brain activity, everything was going down for him. And he, at that time, basically had an out-of-body experience. And during that out-of-body experience, hold on, guys, hold on a second. Hello? Hello? Yeah. I don't know. He's asleep right now. You want to get him? Yeah, he laying down. I don't know. I'm recording right now. So what you gonna do? Well, just come get him. All right. All right, guys. I'm sorry about that. What's up? What's up, Melinda Royal? I'm sorry, guys. Let me get back to it. It just threw me off. So I knew, like I said, I knew a guy. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Hey, give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me right now. Let me see. I don't know if this works. You might. Okay. All right, cool. So, like I was saying, guys, there was a guy, he overheard his family, like his kids, his wife at the time. They actually were advocating for him to be removed off life support and stuff because they wanted the insurance money. So he was essentially in spirit form and was able to hear this stuff, and ultimately that ended up leading to their divorce and all kind of stuff, right? But it goes to show you that once that stuff happens in the body, the brain waves and all that stuff die, that's when you leave the body. Essentially, the spirit leaves out of the seat of the soul, which is the third eye. Now, let's go ahead and finish reading here. These findings help push Borgia to the frontiers of consciousness research. See, you're talking about consciousness. Her sleep research focused on the pineal gland, a roughly almond-shaped organ under the forehead that releases the hormones that regulate sleep. Come on, man, I'm trying to talk to y'all. And many philosophical traditions have hypothesized as the seat of consciousness. Yes. Okay. In 2013, Borgia worked with Rick Strassman of the University of Mexico School of Medicine on a study that found that chemical this is hard to say, diamethylene tryptamine, DMT, we'll just say DMT, the active ingredient in the powerful Amazonian psychedelic ayahuasca. Now, I mentioned this in the video that I'm working on for y'all now, in the pineal gland of rats. Okay, ayahuasca is a drug that our brains naturally produce. Let me see here. Strassman is a leading scientist who helped relaunch research into medical applications of psychedelics in the 1990s, sparking renaissance in a field that medicine had largely turned away from since the 1970s. It's a reason why they turned away from it, because they don't want you to know this stuff. So they turn away from it, act like it ain't important. And I'm gonna show you later when we get to the bottom, you're gonna see why they did that, right? So in 2019, Borgia and Strassman found that dying rats' brains release a surge of DMT as well. That strong indicator that human brains are doing something similar, Borgia told in an interview. At the time, because cognitive phenomena found in rats usually display in people too, although not vice versa. It's hard to investigate much beyond that. However, the tests for a dying surge of DMT are highly invasive and absent end of life volunteers willing to have their skulls open as they die in the name of science. Very hard to corroborate. And while the National Institute, check this out though, this is the kicker, right? While the National Institute of Health has poured money and attention over the past several years into medical applications in psychedelics, particularly around curing depression, they want to act like they're trying to cure something, or quitting dangerous drugs like alcohol, and they got some stuff that'll make you quit something overnight. They don't tell you about that, like alcohol or cigarette. Those studies largely focus on helping those who are ambiguously alive. Also, while psychedelic research has recently seen a renaissance, it's mostly the use of psychedelics as a medicine or as a drug, Borgia added, rather than a study of how similar chemicals are produced and used by mammalian brains. So, let me finish this off now. I'm going to tell y'all. We definitely need to expand our studies, and we need NIH funders for these kinds of studies to just study a lot more patients, maybe in a whole national network. That could lead to a reprisal of the way the heart and the brain works together, or stave off the point of death. And therefore potentially to better understand their role in keeping us alive. But they're not trying to keep us alive, so that makes absolutely no sense, right? So, like I said, let me go back. Strong indicator in my brains is doing something similar. Most studies on also brains. Willing to collaborate. Hold up. Where's the rest of this? 2000. Brain release of brush DMT. It's uneasy with the mainstream. Wait. Brains release surge that's strong. And when brains are doing something similar, found rationally display people to a lot. It's hard to investigate. Watch test for time. Health. Y'all know, like the National Institute of Health. Y'all know who run that, right? Y'all know who's directly tied to that. Who else? Your boy, Dr. Fauci. Is it a surprise? Dr. Fauci is involved with what? He's involved with the cults. What is the cult? Remember, I showed y'all, man. Y'all have to go back. Some of y'all might have been around, you may not. But I showed you he was doing the hidden hand. Y'all know that. Y'all know what that represents, right? So that ties into your boy Rudolph Steiner. Remember what Rudolph Steiner was doing? Rudolph Steiner was talking about how they was putting together a walk, a schedule, right? So that they could cut people off from spirituality at birth, right? So is it a surprise that NIH refuses to put funding behind the research and study of the psychedelics as it correlates to the releasing of this DMT, or the function of the brain as it goes and as you pass into the afterlife, so to speak? Is it a surprise that they don't want to research that? They don't want to release that information when you have the cult members that they understand this stuff. They're refusing to address it because the secrets and the answers to life and everything that we understand, everything we know, will come into question if this information was presented. You see what I'm saying? So they know that there's a spirit. They know that it exists. They know that it also is in the pineal gland. They know that is the seat of the soul. They understand that. So rather than research it, they're going to push it down. They got control over that. They are the ones that were involved with calcifying the pineal gland. Notice how we talking about pineal gland. We're talking about consciousness. We're talking about sleep state. We're talking about death. All this stuff tied together. Okay? But we're not talking about how they made sure that they calcified it. We're not talking about that. We're not even going to research into what happens, what's going on. You see what I mean? But you understand that there's a relationship there. Talking about, all the rats hallucinate. Well, when you hallucinate, what are you really doing? You going in and out of the spiritual realm. Like you're tinkering around with going to spirit form, going to physical. Okay, just like when you take certain drugs, you visiting over into the spiritual realm with certain drugs. Just like with alcohol, when you absent from your body because this stuff is released in your body, in your brain. Now your spirit is out. Guess what? One of these spirits that's sitting on the sideline is entering in. You understand what I'm saying? So now that's why you get people that do stuff. They black out and then they just do stuff. They do crap. I don't know what I did. I don't remember. You slept with somebody. People kill people. They get violent. They don't remember. Like they become a whole different person. People get so twisted. They like, hey, I just got to get this in me. Then I'm loose. I feel good and I do whatever. Yeah, you will, because you not you no more. It's something else. It's a spirit that's sitting there that's been waiting to enter into your body in order to control you and do this stuff for you. You just a passenger at that point, or you just standing on the sideline watching somebody else activate your avatar or your vessel. If you understand what I'm saying? So understand this, man. There is a link between the two, as far as death and the dream state, because you're releasing these hormones. Okay, just like when you take the drug, you're releasing the drug. The same reason why you can overdose as well. You can overdose to the point where your soul leave the body. It's that simple. You can OD on certain drugs. These hallucinogenic drugs, you can OD on them, and you gone. Okay, just like if you release so much of that stuff into your brain, you're not just going into a hallucinogenic state for a moment. You going up out of there. You understand what I'm saying? So understand, man, that is part of this big picture, and we've been putting a lot of this stuff together as of late, talking about spirituality, talking about your power, consciousness, talking about telepathic ability, talking about intuition and all this stuff. It all ties together, man. So I didn't want to make this video long, man. I just want to hit on some key things as related to that, because this little piece of video is gonna go in my video that I'm creating for y'all now. So y'all that see this, you already know. Oh, we talked about this when we was in the live. All right. So if anything, man, I don't think we're gonna be on here any longer. Like I said, I put the info up, man, as far as the detox bundles, man. If you get over there in time, yeah, go ahead, take advantage of that. If not, let me see. So layout. If not, then we'll probably have something maybe next month, and maybe the month after we may do something like that again. I don't know for sure. So we got a lot of orders, a lot of orders to say the least to get out. But I hope everybody's well, man. If you don't know, I did get a strike on my main channel, so you're not gonna be able to see me on my main YouTube. I will be on Rumble. I will be on my other channels dropping videos and stuff over the next month. That's where I'll be. I may do a derailment videos or a detour videos on my other channel on YouTube when I do get back up. But I probably gonna post them because it's got 2 strikes, man. 1 more and I'm out of there. So either way, man, I hope everybody's good, and I will catch you all later.